is December 19th, 2024, and it's time for another dive into the deep self. So, here, if you click this, you get a random post every time. Some post is here on the, uh, the Deep Self website. So, let's go ahead and see what random chance gives us in the world of coincidence control. Ode to Sensory Deprivation, Wan Buddhism. So, this is a post. I came across Wan Buddhism when I was in San Francisco. Didn't have a flotation tank at the time. Didn't meet Kane Mantilla, who ran Float Matrix in San Francisco. We'd formed a long term relationship, had a bit of an explosive disconnect. He went on to do some things with creating a flotation tank reward system. I had been discussing a different reward system, and that created a lot of friction between us. Um, oh, but back to this post. So, Samadhi, the thoughtless state, and this lady speaks about just how it can't even be described what it's about. There is no comparison with any sensory pleasure if you experience this samadhi concentration. It is greater than any sensory pleasure. Any sensory pleasure. So I guess that would include you know what, that it's greater than that, which is something that I probably need to be aware of given my fixation, shall we say, with you know what. Um, yeah, and you can see here this was posted 2019. Yes, that was when I was in San Francisco uh, and doing Shivananda yoga. But right around the corner from where I was, where was this place, the Wan Buddhism Center. But I was doing Shivananda yoga in San Francisco. So here's a lady who was at the San Francisco Center. She says, keep the length of the inhale and exhale the same length. Control the breath and you control the mind. First focus on the coccyx, then on the tailbone, then the area below the navel as you inhale and exhale the same length. Start with 2 seconds, then 3, and keep going. Soon you will get out to 20. This is your gateway to samadhi. So I'm not sure if this is Sungha Lee or if the lady I was working with in San Francisco is Sungha Lee. I'm going to research that later. But these approaches where you have to keep the body vertical are challenging. But there's hundreds of people that have done it with this system, and thousands of Buddhists that have done it with this system. So this leads me into a quick discussion of my concern about what we're doing as floaters. But yes, sensory deprivation. So this is an ode to sensory deprivation. Let's keep focus. It is greater than any sensory pleasure. So while there are things within the senses, but is music within the senses? This is a big question. Is music within the senses? Because if you work the 5 chakras of the body, the fifth one is here, sound. And this whole universe comes from sound. Is sound a sensory pleasure? Is hearing things actually a sensory thing? Or is sound actually what creation is? Because if you look at Sanskrit, the sound is the thing because sound creates everything. If you look at cymatics. But, you know, well, it's been an interesting dive into the deep stuff. Now, I've got a fixation, I'm just going to admit this, with Buddhism and the things that they've achieved, and I feel guilty, so I'm going to close this out with the last 30 seconds that in this one other Buddhist system, they have so many levels of attainment. People from the street, people who've got this level, people who've made it to 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 this level, and you're talking 5 to 10 years, to get through all this, then Zen master. And it's about the group saying that you're something, but I feel guilty that they have these levels of attainment and we don't have them in the isolation tank. So thank you very much for your time,